In the search for life beyond Earth, what might we stumble upon? Microbes, little green men, or creatures beyond our comprehension? The James Webb Space Telescope is currently looking for signs of life on exoplanet K2-18b. If confirmed, it will be humanity's biggest discovery to date. If not, the search for life will continue. One way to start looking for them is to create a classification system designed to categorize potential alien civilizations. You may have heard of the Kardashev scale, named after the Soviet astronomer who introduced it in 1964. This scale proposes 3 types of civilizations based on their ability to harness and use energy. Type 1 civilization can use and store all the energy available on its home planet. They have mastered renewable energy sources and can control weather phenomena. Type 2 civilization can harness the total energy of its entire star, capturing and utilizing a significant portion of its energy output. They might achieve this through technologies like Dyson spheres, a hypothetical megastructure originally proposed by physicist Freeman Dyson. It is a massive spherical structure that completely surrounds a star, capturing and utilizing a large percentage of its energy output. The concept suggests that advanced civilizations might one day construct such a structure to meet their energy needs on an enormous scale. Type 3 civilization can control energy on the scale of its entire galaxy, tapping into and utilizing energy from numerous stars and planetary systems. From our point of view, this civilization would seem to possess godlike abilities. Now, it's important to note that humanity has not yet reached the Kardashev scale, as we currently derive our energy primarily from fossil fuels, which are essentially ancient organic matter. We are classified as a Type 0 civilization. Advancing to a Type 1 civilization, which can harness all the energy available on its home planet, is a monumental leap that we are far from achieving at present. But that doesn't mean we do not possess the means to spot a civilization higher up in the Kardashev scale. One group of scientists thinks that we may already have detected technosignatures from a technological civilization. A team of scientists from Sweden, India, the UK, and the USA has led to the development of a method for detecting technosignatures associated with Dyson spheres. This initiative, named Project Hephaestos after the Greek god of fire and metallurgy, aims to identify potential Dyson sphere constructions by advanced civilizations. In their study, the scientists detail a thorough investigation into partial Dyson spheres using data from Gaia, 2MASS, and WISE, which are extensive astronomical surveys serving various purposes. The analysis involved a vast amount of data from individual stars, with approximately 5 million sources examined in this particular paper to construct a catalog of potential Dyson spheres. But sorting through such a vast amount of data is a daunting task, and so the research team devised a specialized data pipeline for this purpose, capable of processing the combined data from the surveys. Their objective is to identify partially constructed spheres which would emit additional infrared radiation. However, identifying these structures is challenging, as various natural objects also emit excess infrared radiation, such as circumstellar dust rings, nebulae, and background galaxies. And so they designed the pipeline in such a way that it can separate potential Dyson sphere candidates from natural sources. This is done by filtering out sources with unusual amounts of infrared radiation that can't be explained by known natural sources. But that is just the first step. After filtering out the natural sources from the unusual ones, the team then examined the remaining list. Candidates were more closely considered, factoring in hydrogen alpha emissions, optical variability, and astrometry. After this initial screening, they found that only 368 sources remained. Among these, 328 were later discarded due to blending with other sources, leaving 40 potential sources. Further scrutiny brought the number down even more. 29 were rejected for irregular behavior, and 4 were discarded as they appeared to be nebulae. This left just 7 potential Dyson sphere candidates out of the approximately 5 million initial objects. The scientists are confident in the legitimacy of these 7 candidates, as they all exhibit clear mid-infrared emissions without any apparent contaminants or signatures indicating a different origin for the mid-infrared radiation. After analyzing the optical, near-infrared, and mid-infrared photometry of 5 million sources, we found 7 apparent M-dwarfs exhibiting an infrared excess of unclear nature that is compatible with our Dyson sphere models, the scientists wrote in their conclusion. There are natural explanations for the excess infrared coming from these seven, but none of them clearly explains such a phenomenon in the candidates, especially given that all are M dwarfs. Follow-up optical observations would definitely help understand the seven sources better. What is their true nature? Are these really Dyson spheres under construction, or are these M dwarf stars? Turning the James Webb Telescope towards these would definitely give us a lot of answers, as the telescope's powerful infrared vision can unveil the curtain off the mystery. What are your thoughts? Let me know by dropping in your comments below. Meanwhile, somewhere out in space, something has been sending us radio signals, and it doesn't match any natural phenomenon. The mysterious radio wave pulses from deep in space have been hitting Earth for decades, but the scientists who recently discovered them have no concrete explanation for the origin of the signals. What's strange here is that for 35 years, the strange blasts of energy in varying levels of brightness have occurred like clockwork, approximately every 20 minutes, sometimes lasting for 5-minute intervals. That's what Curtin University astronomers from the International Center for Radio Astronomy Research concluded in research published last year in the journal Nature. The discovery of the signal, which researchers named GPNJ 183910, has the scientists baffled. Believed to be coming from around 15,000 light-years away from Earth, the signal has been occurring at intervals and for a period of time previously thought to be impossible. This remarkable object challenges our understanding, said lead scientist Dr. Natasha Hurley-Walker. So how did they end up finding it suddenly after so many years? The story starts in 2018 when astronomers first detected similar signals from another source repeating every 18 minutes. By the time they analyzed the data in 2020, it was no longer producing radio waves. So, they looked again, knowing that the chance was high they would find another long-term radio source. The team of astronomers used the Murchison Wide Field Array Radio Telescope in Western Australia to scan the Milky Way galaxy every 3 nights for several months. They didn't have to wait long to find what they were looking for. Within no time, a new source was detected. Discovered in a different part of the sky, this time repeating every 22 minutes with 5-minute pulses, this prompted astronomers to look back in time. Studying records at the Very Large Array in New Mexico, the researchers discovered that the source's pulse was first observed in 1988. That in itself was extraordinary. What's even more extraordinary is that the radio signal was able to go undetected for more than 3 decades, and this makes it clear that scientists have not determined with confidence what it could be. So, could this signal be extraterrestrial? Not so fast. We will take that train and assume that aliens are trying to phone our planet. But let's first look at what other theories the researchers have about what may be causing it. Even the lead scientists in the research admit that it can be tempting to include extraterrestrial intelligence as a possible source of the signal. In fact, that's what happened when the first pulsar was discovered, and astrophysicists named it LGM-1 for Little Green Men 1, before additional observations caused them to rule the possibility out. So, what might be causing it? Number 1. Pulsars. The most likely culprit, researchers say, is pulsars, neutron stars that blink and rotate like lighthouses, emitting energetic beams as they rotate toward and away from Earth. But there's a problem with this theory. Pulsars slow down as time passes, their pulses growing fainter with age until they eventually stop producing radio signals. What's more confounding, the object that the researchers detected resembles a pulsar, but spins 1,000 times slower. This brings us to theory number 2. Magnetars. Another explanation researchers offer is that the object could be an ultra-long period magnetar, a rare type of neutron star with extremely strong magnetic fields that can produce powerful bursts of energy. However, this theory comes with its cons. Until recently, all known magnetars released energy at intervals ranging from a few seconds to a few minutes, far more often than the 22-minute intervals that this object emits radio waves. Magnetars also generate radio waves for several months before stopping, not for 35 years and counting. According to researchers, the radio emissions should be slowing down, but as the observations show in this case, it is not. In fact, researchers note that it shouldn't be possible for it to produce radio waves at all. The object is spinning so slowly as to fall below the death line, a critical threshold where a star's magnetic field becomes too weak to produce radio emissions. To determine what's behind the mysterious pulsing, The astronomers said that additional observation and study are needed. Whatever mechanism is behind this, Hurley Walker said in the statement, is extraordinary. This brings us to theory number 3, extraterrestrial signals. Could this be signals sent by beings from another world? Keep in mind that the radio signals are coming from 15,000 light-years away, likely originating from the Scutum constellation. Assuming it's a magnetar, it shouldn't be possible for this object to produce radio waves, but we're seeing them. And we're not just talking about a little blip of radio emission every 22 minutes. It emits a 5-minute pulse of radio wavelength energy, and it's been doing that for at least 33 years. And since the object is spinning way too slowly to produce radio waves, could it be a Dyson sphere? Based on the way the light is twisted in these signals, it seems to be coming to us through a highly magnetized environment. So, what is it? Pulsars, magnetars, extraterrestrial signals? Only time will tell what else lurks in these data and what observations across many astronomical timescales will reveal. By examining whether there is a similar collection of other objects in the data, researchers might be able to understand the mechanisms behind the newly discovered emissions. For now, the wave's nature does not conform to any models that attempt to explain it. Whatever it is, it's definitely some really cool astrophysics that we just don't understand yet. But the fact that it has been sending signals for 30 years is remarkable in itself. What are your thoughts? Do you think these are naturally occurring signals from a source that we are yet to learn about? Or do you think that this might be the contact that we've been waiting for? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to Territory because this is your space.